Welcome to another Wisdom Wednesday with Coach Wendy. Today I'm excited because I'm going to share with you and hopefully reignite in many of your minds, your hearts, maybe some dreams that you've slipped away. Hey, Rhonda, thanks so much for joining us. And, sometimes dreams are interesting because we don't know, is it just something fleeting or is this something that's really truly something we should hold on into our heart? And I would say that it's important to keep certain things in your heart. Hey, Sissy from New Orleans. Good to see you, Christina. So I want us to start thinking about that. And I'm going to share with you my story as it relates to a dream that honestly I had let go of, but God wasn't finished yet. And he brought it full circle. And oftentimes we do let things go. So as your coach today, I'm going to share with you and hopefully reignite back into your spirit some things as it relates to dreams. Many of you are aware, maybe not everyone, but a couple of weeks ago, I got married. And yes, again, I got married. And this time to the love of my life and to a gentleman that I've actually known for over 2 decades, but our paths went separate ways. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the story. Several years ago, actually, gosh, I don't even know, I was probably in my early mid-30s or something. A colleague of mine who I was working with at the time knew that I was working on a project and I needed some help. And she said, I think I know the right person that can help you on this project. And I said, great. Who is it? And she said, as a matter of fact, you know what? His name is Ron. And whenever I think of you guys, I think of Ron as a male version of Wendy and Wendy as a female version of Ron. I didn't even know what she was talking about. I was like, okay, whatever that means. So we actually met and he lived in another state. And I was here in California and he lived actually in Oregon. And I thought, okay, now how's he going to help me? But all right, I'm open. So I had been hired by Nestle to do a celebrity basketball game. I had never done a celebrity basketball game. So I'm like, okay, I had been a cheerleader in high school, but that's about as close as I had ever come to trying to figure out something like that. But I was game because I knew the event business and I knew all the mechanics and everything that would go with that. And I said, okay, we can do this. So we met and he was very helpful. And of course, at the time he was working for Nike and he was involved in their diversity department at Nike. As a matter of fact, he had created the diversity department for Nike. And so he said, yes, I will help you. And at the time, we began as we were working together to build a really wonderful friendship. And the friendship was based on mutual trust, admiration, and respect. And little did we know, of course, years later, this is where we would end up. But over time, we would encourage one another. We'd always want the best things to happen for each other's lives and so forth. And I did do an excellent event for Nestle and had a very successful celebrity basketball game. It was a fundraiser for them for a school in Pasadena. And so time would go on. Our paths would continue in a different way. And he lived in various states. I always lived in California. He moved around due to his work and job and so forth. And when we first met, we were both married, had small children, and had lives of our own. But we knew that there was something there, but, weren't able to pursue that or anything like that because it wasn't right. It wasn't the right time and so forth. But the friendship held on to that mutual respect and admiration that brought us full circle. And then, over time, there were things that would happen where, he'd come to town or something like that. And, our paths would cross and, hey, how you doing? How you doing? And as life would have it, we both went through divorces and our children grew up and, things continued to move forward. But it still wasn't time. It still wasn't right. There was something that just wasn't there for us to be able to pursue past the friendship. And then last year, it's sad to say, a mutual friend of ours, not the same person who introduced us, but another mutual friend of ours passed away. And we reached out to one another to just make sure that we knew about it and to make sure that, we could pay our proper respect to this person. And we started having a conversation. So he would say, "So what's going on in your life?" And I said, "What's going on in yours?" And you know what? We were both in places where we were available and free. And we began to pursue the friendship a little bit deeper and to just get to know each other, spent time together, and began to ask each other questions. And he wasn't living here, he actually was in Chicago. And we started, just like saying, "Okay, how you doing? How you doing?" And then we was like, "How are we going to date? And how are we going to date long distance?" But we began to pursue that and pray about it and talk to the Lord and said, "Okay, Lord, what do you have in mind for us?" And so as time went on, we, after a few months of just phone conversations, and he doesn't have an iPhone, so I had to teach him all about WhatsApp so we could talk, and see each other via WhatsApp. And so we started doing that. And then we decided we would have our first date. And so we did. We started dating last summer, and at the beginning of the summer, and time kept going on and on. And we started like dealing with what are the important principles? What are the important things in our lives? Where are maybe some of the areas we went wrong in terms of some of the decisions we've made as relates to relationships? What could we grow from? What could we learn from? And all of this is so important. Hey, Miss Marquetta, good to see you. And so, as we began to continue to navigate through those questions to make sure that we didn't continue to make the same mistakes just because there was an attraction or maybe there's chemistry, but is there compatibility? We had to kind of like really make sure, are we really in line with what God wants for our lives? And are we compatible for one another? So then we started dating, and time kept moving forward. And he was here last Christmas Eve and got to spend time with my family. Some of my family members already knew who he was. And he popped the question and on Christmas Eve. And so on Christmas Eve of 2019, we got engaged. And he made the statement. He said, "Miles, marriages, and mistakes kept getting in the way." And I'm completely transparent. So I'm the one who kept getting married, not him. He was single for a long time. But for me, I jumped a little bit too fast before. But I'm not saying anything negative about anyone, because I believe that there's always things you can learn in every situation and in every relationship if you choose to do so. If you choose to learn the lessons and learn to get better instead of bitter. And I didn't want to get bitter. I wanted to get better. And I always felt that there was someone and something that God had for my life if I was willing to continue to learn the lesson. So I'm very vulnerable and sharing with you because I want you to think about what are some of the lessons that God wants you to learn from maybe some of the mistakes that you've made, whether it's a relationship or whether it's a career path or whether it's just something in general about a decision you made that you maybe shouldn't have made. And that's how we can continue to get back to the dream that we truly, really want to have for our lives. So then as time continued to move forward, we decided, okay, we're going to get married. And then what happened? COVID hit. COVID hit. And so we're like, okay, how are we going to do this? And we just kept praying because this time we really believed that it was the right time. And we still had that joy in our heart of when we first met many years ago. And now we were mature to a place to where we could appreciate one another and love one another and grow. And we knew we also really wanted to help other people as it relates to the work that God has called us to do. And so I started thinking about this. And I've shared in some of the articles I've written and so forth that I actually felt like a failure. I actually felt like I had failed when it came to marriage. So I was not expecting to get married again, or anything. I was like, okay, I've done a lot of things good in my life, but this area, I just, for some reason, I fall short. And I felt really bad. And as a Christian, I even felt worse because I felt like, how could I do this? How could I keep falling short in this area? And, I had people praying for me, praying with me, people talking to me, encouraging me and say, "Wendy, don't give up. Just don't give up and understand that God has a plan for you, whatever that may be." And I was okay with it either way, whether I ever got married again or didn't. But then Ron resurfaced back into my life at the right time to a place where that dream could be reignited. Because I'm a nurturer. I'm a person that loves family. I love being a wife. I love taking care of people. And who better than the person that you truly love? And so together, we came together in making sure we did things the right way at the right time under God's plan. So I just want to share that. Think about the dreams that you've had, whether it's a career, whether it's a person, whether it's a move. Maybe you've always wanted to move somewhere, or maybe you moved somewhere and it was the wrong place and you need to move somewhere else. Whatever it may be, think about what is still in your heart that you feel like you need to work on and get back to. I wanted to share something I read, so I'm going to read it to you. So we had the pleasure of not only getting married a couple weeks ago, but then having some downtime and having our honeymoon and connecting with one another. And I was reading a book by Napoleon Hill called Think and Grow Rich. And I thought that was interesting. It's called Think and Grow Rich. It's not called Think and Become Rich. It's about growing. And what I really loved about the book is that it had, of course, great information about wealth and building wealth and all that, but it had really great information also about life and how we make life decisions and how we move forward. So there's a chapter called Organized Planning, and this is the piece I'm going to read for you. So it says, temporary defeat should not mean only one thing: the certain knowledge that there is something with your plans. When defeat comes your way, accept it as a signal that your plans were not sound. Rebuild your plans and set sail once again. So in other words, if there's something that you've been dreaming about in your life, no matter how long or how long you maybe have let that dream go, stop and think about the plans. And for me, as a Christian, we also know that if God does not build the house, then we labor in vain. And if God's not in the plan, it's not going to last. So think about your plans. Think about why you want to be with someone, or why you want to do this particular job or career, or why you want to make this decision. Stop and really think about it and make sure that you're making sound plans with sound judgment. So I'm going to pause right now for a second and just ask, does anyone want to share a dream that you've let go of, even if it's just one word? Because I want to encourage you today. Don't give up. Don't let go. And if you did let go, go grab it again. Go grab that dream. What better time than now? We're in a time when everything is becoming, new. Everything's adjusting. It's almost like God is giving us a clean slate of starting over on a whole lot of things in life right now, due to the Black Lives Matter movement, due to COVID-19, the fact that we have to shut down in order to start over. Think about it. Who wants to share something with us about really some plans that you really want to do? Hey, so brother, you want to do a clothes and shoe, become a clothes and shoe designer. Okay. Hey, Christina, you really need to, okay. Yes, you really, okay. I owe you a conversation. I promise we're going to reach out to each other. I promise. Yes. Who else wants to share a dream or a vision that maybe you thought that you weren't good enough for it, or you thought it's too late, Like me, I'm in my late 50s. I might have thought that I would, give up. I'm getting too old or something. But no. Ed, I see you want to do screenwriting. Marquetta, you're working on developing and manifesting your dreams. I've been making all natural products. Excellent, excellent, excellent. And I just want to encourage everyone that we have what it takes. You're doing lip balms and bath bombs and body oils. Rhonda, your dream is philanthropy. Well, let me just say something to you, Rhonda. You're already on that path. You have been a philanthropist as long as I've known you. Because one thing about philanthropy, it's not about the amount of money that someone gives. It's about the heart and consistency. And your heart has always been on point, and you've always been consistent in sharing. Christina, you want your own salon, and you want to work with the homeless. Excellent, excellent. I see that for you. I really do see that for you. Billy. Oh my gosh. This is Billy. Hey, Billy. Thanks for being on this call. Oh, my heart is full today, right now. So good to see you, Billy. You want to be a husband and father. I'm going to pray for you for that. I want that for you as well. And God can manifest that no matter what. No matter what. So, right now, I just want to continue to encourage everyone, because we're going to have a part 2 next week as well, to think about that dream. Yes, Marquetta, you're right. Rhonda, you definitely are a giver. You're such a giver. So I want everybody to get your little pen and pad out, because you know we have to have a takeaway. And I want to just encourage everyone to think about what is the dream that you gave up on? And maybe you haven't given up. Maybe it's a new dream that you've just birthed. But if it's something you gave up, think about why. What was it that blocked that dream to come true for you? This past week, our pastor, Adam, at our church was preaching, and we were watching it online. And he was sharing that when people say something to you, who said that? Who planted that negative seed of whatever it is in your head about yourself? Whoever did it, you need to just block them, because you need to think positive about what God has for you in your life. So think about that dream. If there was something negative that blocked you from wanting to continue to pursue that dream, think about that. And what can you do to move that out of your life? What can you do to move that out of your mind? And then also, if this is a new dream that you've birthed, then think about, what do you need to put in place to make it go from a dream to a goal to a reality? Now, there's some things that are also about timing. Don't forget that. Some things also, is it realistic? And then some things also is about, is it what God has for you in your life? So you got to think about all those things. So what I want you to take away, because for those of you that will be joining next week, we're going to also talk about and pick up a little bit about, what were you able to do to start putting in place today? Concrete items, concrete bullet points, concrete next steps for you and making your dream come true. And if there's something that I can do to help you with that, I want to do that. So again, I'm Coach Wendy. Thank you for joining us for another Wisdom Wednesday with Coach Wendy. And there's something I always like to leave everyone with at the end of each time that I say something, and that is healing without hate. It's a choice. It's a lifestyle. Pass it on. Think about that, because sometimes that might even be part of what you need to include in your life to help your dreams come true. Is there some healing that you need to take place? Is there some forgiveness that you need to extend to someone else or to yourself? Think about that, because it's a choice and we can make it as part of our lifestyle. God bless you, and I look forward to hearing from all of you. I see you, Rhonda. If that person is speaking negativity to you, stop it. Yes. So pass it on. Thank you. God bless. Goodbye, everybody. See you next week. Don't forget, come back. We're going to have part 2. Okay. Bye-bye.